Just where are you going?
Where are you going? You're not going to the bar again, are you?
You like hanging out, drinking beer at the bar, talking sports? Come on out and join us weekly. Guys at the Bar Talking Sports, your podcast for just that. Hanging out, drinking some beer, talking sports.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to Guys at the Bar Talking Sports. And this is the show where we get together at a bar, hang out, drink some beers. We're literally at a bar. That's why you hear the background noise. You even hear some music, so sorry about any of the copyright and all that BS that goes on.
And they're busy tonight.
Post on YouTube, and they are packed tonight, so there might be a little bit of noise, or quite a bit more noise in the background. So check this out, all y'all. So have y'all heard about ChatGPT yet? The little chatbot thing that can basically come up with your kids' term papers and all that. Come up with poems for your wife if you want to. And it's like it's designed to communicate as if it's a human with you, right? So anyway, I went in and I said, hey, can you come up with a opening line for Guys at the Bar Talking Sports, a podcast about football, basketball, where we get together at a bar and drink. And this is what it said. Ready? Welcome to Guys at the Bar Talking Sports, where the beer is cold, the wings are hot, and the opinions are even hotter. We're just a bunch of guys hanging out at a bar talking about the latest sports news and probably making fun of each other's teams. So grab a pint, order a round of shots, and get ready for some good old-fashioned sports banter. Just remember, what happens at the bar stays at the bar. Unless it's a really good story, then we are definitely sharing it with everyone we know.
That's right.
And don't worry, we'll keep it PG-13 unless the game gets too intense. Then all bets are off. Is that
Dude,
crazy
that's
or what?
That's beautiful.
It's like, holy crap, have you listened to our show or something?
Yeah,
or what?
right. That's
You know what I mean?
Big brother, man.
Yeah.
And a bot did that?
And a bot did that.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's so
chatbot.
cool.
ChatGPT, I signed up for it and I started asking it questions and stuff. It was really interesting. It can't predict the future for football because I started asking who's going to win the Super Bowl, and it says I only have information from now or from 2021 back, right? So I can't do that, but I was just like screwing around with it on that. I said I don't like that one. Can you come up with another one? And then it did that for me as well. But I'm not going to get into that because that's way too much. But it was just funny, and I'm thinking our jobs are going away, y'all. ChatGPT is going to be doing Guys at the Bar Talking Sports soon enough, and it's going to use 4 different voices or whatever.
That's a better narrative than we could have come up with, right?
But what do you think it drinks?
I mean, I've been doing this for 3 years, and I
Yeah.
can't come up with that good of a
good
narrative at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, what do you think ChatGPT drinks? Straight whiskey, baby. Straight whiskey.
I know what I drink, and my glass has been dry for many weeks. These
What are you drinking over there, Rebel? I hear you.
makers and makers and makers and makers.
And I got my man, Chopper.
Ew.
What are you drinking, Chopper?
Today it's cold, so I got some Crown and Sprite.
Give it.
He's bringing a little variety into his life, man.
I know, this guy's always been IPAs, and he's like moving on to the good
The
stuff.
weather is cold.
We got my
Time is
man
right.
Harley over here.
Every time I drink
He's
bourbon,
not going
the
to talk
weather's cold.
sports with us tonight, but he is going to say what he's drinking. What are you drinking, Harley?
And I'm drinking Corona.
Corona. And it's almost a tropical day over here. It's
Beautiful, beautiful day in the neighborhood.
This is your boy Hanger. I'm drinking a Coors Light bottle, and my favorite female on the show, Cheeks. I see something very unusual in your champagne glass. What on earth are you drinking?
I'm doing a cotton candy mimosa this evening. I went really chick.
That is a cotton candy. What's in it? Like a cotton? Is it?
Prosecco and cotton candy.
It looks like lime. It looks like lime Kool-Aid.
So it's I'm drinking watermelon.
Like a watermelon vodka or something?
No, all it is just watermelon cotton candy.
Okay.
So you could do any flavor. You just put like a little cloud of it in there and dip it in, and it all melts into your prosecco.
It sounds very ladylike.
It is.
It's going to attract all the ladies.
It's very
Yeah.
chic. Yeah.
You know what? We could probably get sponsorships for those drinks easier than we can for
I
Crown
bet you.
and Coke.
I bet you I could get that by next week. That's my goal.
For sure. All right, so I had the first question I wanted to raise to y'all,
Yeah.
and that is this, because I think it's an interesting question, and you started seeing it lately in the college football arena.
Yeah.
Is that everyone's bragging about their recruiting class at a high school. We got Chopper over here bragging about Auburn being the top
back
three.
on App State.
Top 3 classes for the transfer portal.
Yeah, go portal.
The whole thing is going on. So the big question is, what's more important, having a good transfer portal class or having a good high school recruiting class overall? What's going to be more important later on down the road?
High school recruiting.
Long-term goals or short-term goals?
Both.
So
Yeah. So expand on that then. Long term.
short-term goals, I think, the whole transfer portal. If you can get a player in to come in real quick, fill a need that you have, fill a gap that you have very fast, do it. Do it quick. If you're trying to build a program and a dynasty, you got to do it. I think you got to do it from the high school up, even though all of this transfer portal really hurts the high school athlete coming out right now. High school athletes don't have the same opportunities they had prior to the NIL.
At the top programs, I'm sure, right? Because a place like Auburn, they're trying to pull as many good recruits out of that transfer portal as they can. They might not be focusing on the high school quarterbacks.
That's almost every school, though. Every school is going to do the same thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Think like a coach.
Yeah.
Okay.
Think like a coach. What does a coach want? Does he want the green wet behind the ears, or do you want someone who's already seen the action and wants to play?
So the two of you think the transfer portal is going to play more of an important role.
I do. I definitely do.
I do short term, yes.
But I have a feeling that Rebel is on the opposite side.
No,
of the
it's not on the
conversation.
opposite. It's got to be a very intricate hybrid balance of both. It has to be. It has to be. You can't transfer in 50 kids. You can't do this. What they're going to have to do is this: a few things. Number one, the transfer portal cannot open until after high school signing. That's what it needs to be. And then you go to the transfer portal once you didn't get what you needed from your high school signing. Now, where you've got to very intricately recruit from the high school level is these kids come in, if they don't get theirs, they're gone the next year, right? You've got to bring kids in that you expect are going to get meaningful minutes, meaningful being seen, to where they can get NIL money coming in as a freshman. The days of the red shirt are gone. If you aren't going to walk in and pay me, I'm out of there the next year, and if that fit don't matter, I'm out of there the next year. There's no recourse. As it stands today, they're going to change this stuff.
Right.
So you got to have a happy balance of, I've got holes I needed right now I didn't fill from the high school level, but you still got to bring kids in that the whole thing is, most recruits want to ask, you hear this question, am I going to play walking on campus?
That's right. Everybody wants to play.
That's right, and they know now your playing time is going to be tied to dollars. All right, so basically, who you bring in from the high school level, you can't bring in a kid I'm going to develop. Them days are gone. Okay, they've got to walk in and they've got to get meaningful minutes. Otherwise, those high school recruits are nothing. So you get your high school kids, fill those certain holes. If you feel like you're weak at this position or that position, or if there's just an athlete out there you can't say no to, then you jump on them in the portal. So you've got to have a balance, because if you lean on one more than the other after 2-ish years, you're going to feel the repercussions of that for sure.
Yeah.
I feel like the transfer portal this year, it had some key players in it. There was like 15, 20, maybe 30 guys that were like, like premier players on their team, and that's about it. And then the rest were people that didn't play at all, and they're just trying to find a place that they can call home and play some football.
We've discussed this before. They've got to rein it in, because my thing is this: if you're at a school and you're not seeing significant minutes, why would you not go into the portal? You can go into the portal, and if somebody re-recruits you, you leave. If not, you come back where you came from, because there's nothing that says you can't do that right now.
Yeah, it's a win-win.
Honestly, I think next year, unless they change the rules, you'll see more kids going into the portal, because they're going, hey, let me see what my value is out there, and if somebody values me more than you do, deuces, I'm out of here. I'm going to make some money over here.
Think about Coach bringing in a high school player who's not going to start immediately and not get the playing time. And they sit their freshman year, and all of a sudden they're saying, this coach is going to start me next year. I don't know if this coach is. I'm getting in the portal. So maybe you just take that player straight from the portal that you know can play immediately.
How many times can they enter the portal?
Any as many as they want. It's unlimited right now.
As of right now,
it's the Wild West. It's the Wild West. There's no repercussions from jumping schools every year. I mean, who was the guy, the quarterback that was down at Georgia that went to USC?
JT
Daniels?
Barrett, not Daniels.
JT Daniels.
Okay.
I mean, he's on his fourth team now in 5 years. I mean, and if it ain't working out, he gets an extra year for COVID year. He'll go another place.
And that's my issue with the whole portal thing, is they should get one shot, one jump.
Well, that's the way it used to be, and you had to sit out a year. You got
Mine
penalized.
two jumps, but
So they are reeling it in. I've heard some things thrown around that they're gonna make it so you can jump once, no penalty, and then after that you got to sit out a half a season or something, unless it's for mental health issues or something like that.
Right, but right now you got
doctors
5 years
write
of eligibility, pretty much.
5 to 6, yeah.
Because
6
of COVID,
years.
you now have a 6th year. Most of those guys have a 6th year because the 2020 year doesn't count.
Bo Nix has 8 years.
And that'll go
They
away
had
in
10
2025-ish or something
Right,
like
but
that.
I'm saying, you got a window, okay? And jumping every year, that doesn't give. One, it's not good for the players, the surrounding players on the team, and two, it's not fair to the coaches that are trying to build a program.
Harley, you said you didn't even want to be on the show, and you've been adding a lot of good conversation to this piece tonight.
That's
Thank
because
you.
I'm halfway through the chrono.
You might get a second invite to the show. You never know.
But don't you think that the happiness level of the players is what they now have to think about at the schools? Because I'll jump into the portal.
Yeah, but the players just
I feel
want
like they're being
the
held.
players want to play. Like if you're in high school, you graduated, you got a scholarship to Florida, and you go there and you don't play. First thing you're gonna do is throw your name in that hat to see who's gonna pick you up and let you play. And then you'll go to Arizona, you'll go wherever, because you know the next year, if you do good at Arizona, boom, Alabama, someone else might pick you up.
Well,
you know?
and what's lost in all this conversation, I've been harping on, and I will continue to harp on, these are supposed to be student athletes. You go to college for an education. This is not supposed to be, never was meant to be the minor leagues for the NFL. They need to set up a minor league NFL system and let them go the same way basketball, baseball, all the rest of them do. And a lot of this remedies itself. Your numbers come way down. If you're good enough out of high school, you can go into the minor league and take your chances. But once you do, your college eligibility's gone. You've washed your hands of it at that point.
But you're losing the teams themselves. The scholarships then are just transferring between already players.
Yeah, then
So
they have
the
to
kids
get
come
them.
out of high school. I mean, they've only got X number of scholarships coming in for the team.
Yeah, and they have 5, 6 years to make an impact to get themselves in the NFL where they're going to get a payday, you know? And all those guys are going to do that.
But again, if that's your ultimate goal, go to the minor leagues and do that. Feel free to do that.
Right.
Let student athletes be student athletes.
Right.
Are you trying to make a transition to my next topic?
I didn't know it, but
This
I
is a
guess.
surprise topic tonight.
Then I
Let
did
me
well
throw
then.
one more thing
Yeah,
in
that's
there.
on
I'll
my
let
next
you
topic.
go, Harley.
That's not on my agenda.
It's not on
Back
your
on the point of the scholarships, okay? That right there, when they're transferring in, directly impacts the high school players trying to come up.
Correct.
Yeah, it does absolutely influence where the high
That's
school
why-
players are going to end up.
That's why I said the portal needs to come after high school recruiting is over.
Yeah.
Because look, the Cheeks point is that you got a kid that's got 2 years under his belt, or you got a high school kid coming in. You know what you're getting here. You don't know what you're getting here. That kid in the portal is always going to win out that battle just because they know.
Should it be
Now-
a set number then? How do you control that? How do you say? How do two teams do equally recruit from the high school and then go to the portal?
If that's the question. But let me tell you what, this gets even more convoluted. You have a kid, you've sat there, you've given away all of your scholarships. Again, we've lost student athlete. This kid wants to transfer in. Well, we can't put you on scholarship, and pay your tuition of $30,000 a year. But hey, you get the prize of $10 million a year. You've just got to pay $30,000 to the university. You think they're going to care? You're going to have these kids not on scholarship, but because they're getting paid, the scholarships ain't going to matter anymore.
I mean, Florida lost a 5-star recruit, dropped us out of the top 10 recruiting classes because of it, and he was looking for a $13 million NIL deal.
Well, that's what they had promised.
As a 5-star coming out of high school, going in as a freshman. And somebody's going to put that deal together, maybe, but I think that it might end up being that some of these freshmen are not going to get those big NIL deals that they want, because you can go to the portal and get someone just as good that has 2 years of experience under his belt practicing in a college up in Notre Dame or wherever else, or at App State or somewhere
All
in
I'm telling
North
you is this.
Carolina.
All I'm telling you is this. It was working just fine how it was. They've gone and the NCAA allowed this to happen to try to remain relevant. The process was just fine where it was, and now you see the
And
crap show you see.
And they're going to reel it in. That's what they're going to end up doing with that
I'm not
1
sure
year.
they are.
They're going to allow one time. And
grasping at straws.
Yeah,
To remain relevant. So true.
Okay, so I need a Coors Light as well if you're going to the bar. Just know to put on my tab.
I'm good.
So you're talking about, you were talking a little bit about, some sort of minor league, and we got the XFL starting up again February 18th with two games on Saturday and then 2 games on Sunday. There's going to be 4 games per week because they have 8 teams, and it's going to go for, I think they said 10 weeks and then a couple playoff games and some sort of championship. It lasted 3 weeks in 2020.
That's because of COVID, though.
That was exciting, but that was actually good football.
You watched some of the games.
Yes,
So did I.
That was actually good football.
I watched some of the games.
I thought it was semi decent. It was
But
better than I thought it was going to
the
be.
stadiums are empty.
I know.
Look, you take what you read in the media for what it's worth, probably not worth 2 cents, 98% of the time. So The Rock is who bought the XFL. He is the owner of the XFL now. Remember, he was a very successful college football player, got tryouts with the NFL before he became The Rock, right?
Yeah.
And basically, the rumor was that's why he bought the XFL, to try to develop to become the minor leagues of the NFL, because he saw the writing on the wall and what was coming. And the thing is this, go to a minor league baseball game, there's not people in the stands. They don't care. They're trying to develop to get to their whatever their affiliate NFL team is, and those NFL teams are subsidizing the cost of these games. They don't care. You develop my players and get them here. That's all we care about. Oh, you did a great job. Keep doing it. So at the end of the day, if they can have some sort of agreement with the NFL, and, well, if Dwayne Johnson can't do it, nobody can, right? Is if they can say, we're going to be the minor leagues, we've got these affiliate teams, they don't care if people come watch or not, because that's not the point of the whole process.
So you think they're going to get all 10 games done this season? Because there's
so.
been times where some of these startups, like American Football League or not
USFL.
Back in the 2000s, like they stopped after 5 or 6 games.
My suspicions are, and again, this is the opinion as seen by a Rebel. There have already been enough conversations behind the scenes to what the point of doing this is, that, hey, I'm not trying to compete with the NFL. I want to come in and build your brand by being your minor league. And it's intrigued them enough, and let's see how this goes. So what you need to look for is next year is you see how many people get drafted out of the XFL. And if you get a couple guys going out, now that's kind of intriguing. Wait a minute, why do I want to go to college? I can go over here and make me $50,000, $60,000 or get an NIL deal in the XFL. Who says it can't apply to there too? Nobody does, right?
Yeah, who were the 2 big guys that came out of the XFL back in the day?
He Hate Me.
He Hate Me, and the other one that changed his name on the back of his shirt, was that He Hate Me?
He Hate Me. He did that one.
Yeah.
And there was one. You're right. There was one other guy who had some success in the NFL.
They had a little bit of success in the NFL. Now, I bet y'all didn't know this because there was no fanfare to it last year. But the USFL started up in 2022 with 10 games. They had 10 games that were all played in Alabama, in Birmingham, Alabama. Even though it had 8 teams that were from all over the country, right? And they are starting up also.
Oh my gosh.
They're starting up in April, middle of April. The USFL will be starting their schedule as well. And that last year, I don't think anyone watched it. I think I saw some of the games on ESPN on Saturdays, but yeah, nobody even knew it even
Is that
existed.
Steve Wynn?
I think so. Yes,
Yeah.
I think
Steve Wynn did it?
Yeah.
But
Oh,
they're also partnered with Fox. So Fox is a part owner of this league as well.
But again, the thing, what was the league that Trump owned back in the day? Was that
Trump owned the league back in the
That
day
was
too.
USFL.
USFL, yes, it was USFL.
He had the original USFL.
the original USFL?
Okay.
With
But
Herschel
he went,
Walker.
yes, he went at
New
it.
Jersey Generals.
He went at it to compete with the NFL. That was his
Yes.
purpose of doing
Right.
it. He didn't own the league, he owned a team.
Okay.
And so they went in and started this. We're going to compete with the NFL. We're going to have spring football around here. If these leagues, they can't. That's too big of a juggernaut. I mean, right now in the top 100 or top 50 or top 100, top 50 most lucrative, most worthwise franchises in the world, 24 NFL teams are in the top 50. You would think soccer overseas, not anymore these days. So you're never going to compete with that. You just might as well write that off. But if you can come in and present yourself as, hey, I want to be a developmental league that's going to send them off to you, then the NFL don't feel threatened. They're not going to try to crush you in that one. They may even try to prop you up a little bit and say, hey, look at our minor league games. They're going to be a Raider next year. They're going to be a Bengal next year.
See, so this is what I was thinking when I saw this whole scenario playing out when I was looking at it a couple hours ago. I was thinking this XFL and USFL, they sort of merge together and become
the minor league,
the frickin' minor leagues.
That would be the smart thing to do.
They put it all together and they figure it out. Now USFL, they did all their games last year in Birmingham. They had no travel expense whatsoever, right? Two teams are sharing this year. Two teams in the South are sharing a stadium. Two teams in the Northeast are sharing a stadium in the West, and so forth. So they're figuring out ways to reel in those budgets. They're paying the guys $15,000 a season and $900 for every game they win.
And see
what? That's it. That's nothing. That's pennies.
The other thing you're seeing with this, which is actually going to help this concept, is there was a lot of guys who used to shoot off to the Canadian Football League and come back. Well, Canada got tired of that. And so they have now put rules in place like, if you want to go try out for an NFL team, we're all for it. But your contract with us is done. And then now you're going to have to come in and renegotiate like you're a new player, or you know what, we don't want you anymore. They won't allow them under contract with the Canadian Football League to come down and try out. And so therefore, those restrictions help this cause a little bit because they don't have, again, a minor league, to not be cliche, to develop a player to get them to the NFL if they weren't good enough. I mean, how many times you see these 5th, 6th, 7th round free agent guys that were good enough to get drafted or signed, not make it, but hey, you're not quite there yet. Let's give you about 2 more years and let's see what happens. Or hey, stay in the program. Let's see how you fit in our offense. Whatever affiliate team, you do exactly what your parent team does. And I'm telling you, it's going to work itself out if they will do that. Until they do, college football is just going to be a hot mess. Every year, you're not going to recognize your team walking into this first game of the season.
I got you. So we got to move on to the Jaguars-Chiefs game last week. Excellent game. I mean, it was way closer than it should have been just because of the injuries. And
yes,
all that stuff,
that's why it was that close.
Yeah.
Patrick Mahomes, I didn't watch the whole game. Patrick Mahomes came back in the second half.
Yes.
He only missed one quarter.
He missed that. Okay, I thought so. Okay.
That was it. He only missed the second quarter.
Well, he was out there.
Well,
he was
out
limping.
after the second quarter.
Yeah.
He was
So
limping
the second
around,
quarter
yeah.
he was gone, but the third and fourth, he was there for the whole thing.
But he was limping around.
He was.
That's what I heard.
But he
And-
took a shot. He was.
Well,
Yeah.
the thing is this, is he makes his money on being mobile. That's how he makes his money. And
Right.
being in that business of dealing with injuries, high ankle sprains are no joke. You can tape them, you can do whatever you want to with them, and
It's hard
be
to get past.
And you can get it to where the ankle's stable, where you can put weight on it. But for you to do lateral movement, for you to plant and push and run, not in 1 week, it ain't happening.
He was hopping on one
Yes.
leg, and I was like, why didn't they take him out? And they didn't.
Yeah, that was crazy.
then
They did
he
a running
They
play
put him
right
back
there.
in. I'm like,
Like he's
oh.
hobbling. So
but
like
he
these,
didn't want to be taken out. He had a fit when they
It's
did
called
take
coach.
him out.
He did not
It's called a
want
coach.
to.
It's called a coach.
Yeah.
Coach goes, we're going to win this game without you. You sit there and get well so we can make you when we have to have you. That's a coaching
Right.
call right there. I don't care what kind of money they're making.
But he and Andy
But he
Reid
did
have
not
a
take
special
him out.
relationship, and he said no, I wanted the end. So he was up for 3/4 of the game.
Yeah. Now, I'm sure you were very happy, Cheeks, about the Eagles pounding the Giants. That was just...
A little bit.
It was a good game for an Eagles fan.
It was an
Giants-
easy game to watch.
It was an
My
easy
heart
game to
rate
watch.
never went up. So,
Yeah,
You sounded
exactly.
like me.
yeah, it was pretty sweet.
But no one really expected... Oh, people expected the Bengals to beat the Bills, but, like, they
manhandled them.
They
They manhandled them with a backup offensive line.
I
That's
don't
what
think I
blew
would
my
say
mind.
I expected them to win. I thought it would be a lot more
Competitive.
Right, I did, but the offensive
dominated
line
the
crushed
Joe
us.
Burrow
The
picked
Bills'
them apart.
offensive line was not there. They didn't show up that day. Josh Allen looked completely frustrated. He was frustrated last week. He was more frustrated this week. This
When I
is the
said
first
that-
time I saw Joe Cool not be Joe Cool.
Look, Joe Cool is Joe Burrow, sweetie. You better get yourself right.
No, actually, it's Joe Montana.
I get that, but he's the new one. It's what I told you guys last week. I said if they can get after Allen, game's over. If
Yeah,
they
yeah,
let
that's
Allen
what they
stand
did.
back, if they let
They
Allen
did.
stand back there, they'll pick Eli Apple apart because he's trash. In my opinion, has not changed. He's still trash. And so when they allowed him to stand back there, he was allowed to throw the ball around. But as you saw the game progress, the Bengals blitzed more and blitzed more and blitzed more, recognizing we're controlling the line of scrimmage, and that game was over at that point. I mean, Mixon was running loose anytime he wanted to run loose. So, I mean, but when I got to halftime, I'm like, I'm feeling pretty good about this because you always worry in the NFL about a big comeback because they're professionals, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, if they do exactly what they did in the second half, this game's over. And it was.
Yeah, I'm rooting for Joe Burrow to win a Super Bowl.
BDJ, baby.
What? I'm sorry, Cheeks. I am. Like, the guy, second show that we did this on this freaking podcast, it was talking about who's that guy from LSU that's just showing everyone up right now. It was like mid-November, and then all of a sudden he wins the Heisman, wins the national championship, goes to the
So
Bengals, hometown
are you
boy.
transitioning into that game at all right now? Because I got a comment I think is worth pondering.
No,
I have a
that
few
was
things
actually at the
that-
beginning.
Then we'll come back around.
We'll come back
Yeah.
around. So, Cowboys and 49ers. 49ers are the worst team in this group of four that are left, for sure. 49ers are the worst team in the group of four that are left.
Harley disagrees with you.
That was a hard game to watch. It really was. Cowboys. They
became the Cowboys.
I thought
became the Cowboys.
I
Exactly.
thought those two teams were the most inferior teams out of everybody.
They are, yeah. Those are the two most inferior teams. You know what? We talked about this before the show in a little pre-talk. I wanted to ask this question. Why does everybody hate the Cowboys? And why do they hate Dak Prescott? I like
They
Dak
ruined
Prescott.
football.
They what?
The Cowboys ruined football.
They ruined football.
Okay, Cowboys when they,
hear this
way back years back. Okay, they started throwing big. They started throwing big money at every player they could.
Yeah.
You know, it was all about the wallet and the bank, and that started the whole progression.
And
of
now
super
it's all
salaries
about the
and
wallet and
everything.
the bank. And
No,
everyone
no.
came up and played. So
Well,
now,
the difference with that is he's
But
basically
somebody-
calling them the New York Yankees. Is what he's doing. The difference is in the NFL you have a salary cap, whereas the Yankees don't. So they legitimately can come in and buy anybody and everybody. But being
as a Cowboys hater, why do you hate the Cowboys so much?
because I grew up as a Redskins fan. Yeah, I can still say that on the show. Redskins fan. I can't like the Cowboys.
Hey, we're
I grew
not
up as a
politically
Cowboys
correct.
fan.
okay?
So
I grew up as an Eagles
Yeah.
fan. I hate the Cowboys.
See,
I will never, even in the Super Bowl, the Cowboys were in the Super Bowl, I would root for the AFC team.
America's team.
man, we got some bystanders going, hell yeah, I hate the Cowboys.
we hate the Cowboys right now. Whoa! All right, so I grew up. I mean, in the '90s, I liked watching Troy Aikman, Emmitt Smith, that whole.
I have more appreciation for them now than I did in the moment. I can tell you that now. Because at the time, I hated them. I hated them.
I still have no appreciation for
See,
that.
I don't hate any team except for the Florida State Seminoles. To be honest with you, like I hate Georgia, but I could stand them. Like
I hate the
don't.
Cowboys.
I mean, I hate Florida State Seminoles, but like I don't have that hate for the Cowboys like everyone has, and I see it all over our Facebook group. Join it if you are listening.
Well,
Yeah.
the thing is this, they're very much, again, I used this reference earlier, they're very much the New York Yankees. Nobody has a in-between opinion about the New York Yankees. You like them or you hate them, okay? For all the same reasons as the Cowboys, is you try to buy teams, you try to stack teams, they know you're the big dollar in the room, that you can do what you want to do. And that's why people just can't stand them. And then, I think because of who they are, the players start to take on that swagger. Like, no, Dak Prescott. I didn't give a crap when he played at Mississippi State. Didn't give two rats about him, right? But then he wants to come in and start swearing at the kicker when he's missing field goals. Son, you led the league in interceptions. Shut your mouth unless you want the kicker to start yelling at you every
Shut
kick you
your
throw.
mouth.
Shut
You're
your
talking
mouth.
to me.
But there's
Okay.
two other components to it, too. Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones gets down the sidelines. Jerry Jones controls everything.
Mr. Plastic Surgery himself.
Yes, and he drives everybody nuts, okay?
All right.
That's it. And the other part is the fact that they believe their own bad press. They all think they are the next thing that they're Jesus Christ coming
They
to
avoid-
life. And
they-
they are not. And
listen,
they haven't
they-
been since 96.
They have always been America's team. They will always be America's team.
Oh no.
We got
And that is the reason why People hate them so much.
No, you know, you
because
compare the
they-
two
they-
also.
They're
they-
not patriotic enough.
Well, not that.
well,
they
I'm just
just
kidding.
they
The
just
other-
don't have that same.
It's been over 25 years
No
since
one
they
else
were
has
relevant.
that name.
That doesn't matter.
The
They're
other-
still-
the other team-
That's why people don't like them.
Well, the other team that's that polarizing.
relevant.
The other team that's that
But they're
polarizing in
still
NFL
America's team.
is the
Hey,
Steelers.
we need one at a time. One at a time. One at a time.
The other team that's that polarizing is the Steelers. You don't ever find in between
I hate the
Steelers fans.
Steelers.
See, you hate them or you love them. So you've got those
But you're a
teams out there.
Philadelphia fan.
But
All
they're
right.
in the AFC, so it really doesn't matter.
Let's get off all this hating and talk about loving. I know.
BDJ, baby.
I
BDJ.
know. I know. You love the Bengals. I know you love the Chiefs.
Love the Chiefs, yeah.
You love the Chiefs.
Yeah.
So, what were you about to bring up a few minutes ago? We're coming back to you right now. Come on.
So there was a question
Rebel.
of all people, Boomer Esiason poses, of course, being a former Bengal. 2 years ago, Patrick Mahomes signed it was an 8 or 10 year deal for $450 million. Is Joe Burrow the first $500 million contract in the NFL as he gets out of his rookie contract this year?
If he wins the Super Bowl.
He don't have to win a Super Bowl.
That's what I said.
The
too.
Bengals
said go to
the Bengals have never won a playoff game in 2 consecutive years, and now they're going to the AFC Championship game in
2
2
times.
consecutive years. That dude's about to get paid. I
And
mean,
if he makes
and
it-
if he wins the Super Bowl, it's a slam dunk. They're going to go, here's your blank check. Sign whatever number in the blank you want to. Just because of how frustrated that fan base is. They've been to the Super Bowl 2 times. Got lost to the 49ers both times.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so they've just been.
Yes.
Remember, you think about it. The Bengals used to be the Browns. Like they used to be the laughing stock. Like they drafted Achilles
Something
Smith
like
with a
both of them
second
are.
pick overall
Yeah.
out of Oregon.
They were
used to be
almost at the level
trash.
of Detroit. They were
They
almost
were.
at that level.
And now here you are when this guy has brought you there. That was a draft pick. And keep in mind, he lost a season because of a torn ACL, and he's still doing this.
You remember us arguing whether he should go to the Bengals because they suck so bad.
Yeah.
We talked about that on this show.
John Elway going like what he did with the Colts. I won't play for you. I'll go to baseball.
Yeah.
I mean, we did. We talked about that.
Yeah.
And here it is. And he's basically the Bengals were smart enough to build a franchise around him. My only concern there long term is can they keep T. Higgins? Can they keep Chase? Can they keep Mixon? Can they keep all these guys
They keep
around
their
him?
coaches.
Coaches ain't going anywhere. Them guys up there. Look, the head coach is on a bar handing out footballs. They love that team up there. And going into the transition to how this coming game with KC goes, I really do think it's going to depend on Mahomes' ankle. Because if he is not mobile the way he typically is, I mean, Cincinnati's beaten him 3 consecutive games. Didn't matter where they played. So
Yeah, they're
if
0-3
he
against
can't
Cincinnati.
move,
Yeah.
I want to look in a second. I won't be shocked to see the Bengals favored in this game, where it'd be like a 2 or 3 point
Not right
differential.
now. KC's still favored
And,
right now.
and Mahomes is not going to be mobile in this game the way that he needs to be to get outside that pocket and make the plays that he normally would. He's
Lines
not
it up.
going to be, no matter what, just because it's a high ankle sprain. I don't
Oh.
see that happening.
Cincinnati Bengals 1.5 point favorites.
Well-
line as we stand.
Yesterday
now, granted,
it wasn't.
So
Last
that's
time.
really 4 points because Chiefs have the home field advantage.
Yeah.
yeah,
exactly.
1.5 on the Bengals, and I think that's all based on Patrick Mahomes' injury because they know they go as he goes. If he's not in there, they come back down to earth in a hurry. You could even see it in the first half. You know, I joked last week that Mahomes take his pads off at halftime last week. I said that. Once he got hurt, you saw Kansas City stop moving the ball to the degree they typically do.
Yes.
If that guy, look, and you can only do so much with a high ankle sprain. That's the worst ankle sprain you can get is a high ankle sprain. That's not a 1 week injury. That's a 4 to 6 week injury to where you're back normal. And you know, they can shoot him up, I guess. They can numb him up real good, run him out there, but they ain't smart.
He'll be out.
Oh no, he's going to play.
He's
It's
gonna
just going to be to what level. But I can tell you this: if I'm Cincinnati, I blitz and I blitz and I blitz some more,
Yeah.
and make that thing by the second half. That ankle be so swollen, he goes, "Hell with this! I want no part
How
of it."
about Chad Henne when he came in?
He actually did well.
He actually did pretty well. No, he's 37 years old. He was he the quarterback at Michigan after Tom Brady?
No, because Tom Brady got benched for Drew Henson.
Drew Henson
He got benched for Drew Henson.
Chad Henne
came
was-
after Drew Henson.
was after Drew Henson. Okay, that's right. I knew they were close though.
Yes.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this of the two
Chad,
games.
hold on, let me back up to his point. I get my moment to bask.
Get
Chad-
into the glory, baby. Get
Chad
into the glory.
Henne's senior year was 2007.
There you
And
go.
what happened that year?
App State.
The App State Mountaineers went into the big house and kicked the shit out of them. Sorry.
We
Hey,
didn't
this is
see
a
that coming.
Chat GPT, so this is a PG-13 show, okay? So
A 13-year-old hadn't heard that yet. I can't help it.
So that's going to be the good game this week. I mean, no matter what, it's going to be a good game because the Chiefs have enough weapons. Even if Joe Burrow or even if Patrick Mahomes is not playing, I think that they can keep it close. Right?
Yeah. This won't be a blowout.
Yeah, this is not going to blow.
Mahomes is a battler, man.
Yes.
He's going to get in there and battle. He's going to do whatever it takes.
No, he's a competitor. Like you saw him on the sidelines last weekend. He was so frustrated he was not.
I
in
can
the
tell the
game.
guy's just
Well,
like,
the thing
he's
is,
hurting bad. He's
look,
like,
he
give me
was
back.
really-
I'm
No
like,
one's
Yeah.
no
what
one's
a guy,
questioning.
you know?
No one's questioning his athleticism. Nobody's questioning his heart. But all I know is an offense went from doing whatever it wanted to do to the Jaguars to where they scored 7 points in the second half.
Yeah.
That's how much he is a piece of that offense. That if he's not at 100%, you're going to see it. Their playbook changes. Let's put it like the playbook changes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it consolidates quite
Correct.
a bit.
Absolutely.
A lot more running plays, a lot more.
None of this stretch
throws.
running play, none of
Yeah.
these 7-step drops where I got to plan, try to throw the ball 50, 60 yards.
No,
that stuff ain't happening. It's going to be Captain Dink and Dunk.
Is
Is what it's going to
it
be.
is? If I remember correctly, it's his right
That's
foot.
exactly
That's what he's throwing off too, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough game for him.
He's going to favor
and
one
you
side
are
more than
risk-
the other.
He's icing that thing right now.
Additional injury to that ankle.
Well, they will, for the standpoint of this ain't right. It's not saying it's right at all. They will because if they lose, he's got 8 months to heal up and get better. And an ankle sprain isn't going to be something that it could be a career-ending type deal.
Oh no.
With no ligaments?
What's that?
Any ligaments?
No, so a high ankle sprain is basically, I won't get into the anatomy of all this, it's just a more involved ankle sprain that the only thing that really cures that is to get off your foot and rest it for a few weeks. That's what will cure that. And, well, he's trying to go back and play at a high level 7 days after it happened. That's asking a lot. That's
And
asking a
it
whole
hurts
lot.
by even pressure on it.
Correct.
So even standing on it is going to hurt him a little bit.
All right, let's wrap it up. We
Yeah,
talked about them way too
but-
long. And we didn't talk enough about Hurts versus, I'm sorry.
All right.
I like James.
Brock Purdy. Hurts versus
Thank
Purdy.
you.
Okay, Brock Purdy, the story of the season in some ways, as long as you're on the West Coast, I guess. But you got the 49ers and the Eagles, okay?
Yeah.
This is going to be the game that I think that everybody expects the Eagles to go in there, and I expect it too, that the Eagles are going to go in there, they're going to blow out the 49ers the way that it happened to the
I don't
Giants.
even care about a blowout. I just care about a win.
So, do you think that this is going to be just a win? Do you think it's just going to be a blowout? Where's your thoughts on this? Because you are the expert at
The Eagles.
the Eagles. So,
I
lean
think-
in, give it some conversation, girl.
I think that I don't think it's going to be a blowout. I'd love to see the comfort of beating the Giants again, but I don't think it's going to be that much of a blowout because I do believe that Purdy believes in himself more than anybody else, and he has the team rallying behind him. He's not quite at the level of Trevor Lawrence, but I do believe that he does have the team really supporting him.
Does
And-
belief get you there, though?
No, and that's why the Eagles are going to win.
Against Jalen Hurts?
That's
Like,
why the Eagles are going to
and
win
the
because
Eagles, they have a
you're
good
taking
team
skill
there.
over belief. Yes. The Eagles are definitely going to win by at least 13.
You go right.
You want to bet a beer on that?
No.
Here's the thing with this game, guys. Is the thing is this is to who's your daddy's credit, who was like, oh, I'll disagree because Dallas is going to beat them. That's the best defense he's going to have seen.
Like every day.
That's a true fact. That is the best defense that Purdy has faced since on his little run here.
Yes.
But keep in mind, he still made some really, really good throws and really, really good decisions. And quite frankly, I don't think Philly's defense is as good as Dallas's defense. Their offense is better. So what I basically said this is going to come down to is where is Philly's defense in this? If they get after him and they can keep him, having to throw 5, 10-yard passes, not let him try to stretch the field, Philadelphia wins the game. But if Purdy can make 15, 20-yard throws, they've got enough offense against a defense that is not as good as Dallas's that he could be successful. Now, do I think the 49ers win the game? I said they did, and I'm going to go from it, but I think it's going to be back and forth. I think this is going to be one that she's going to be under cardiac arrest coming in 2 minutes into this game.
I think the Eagles win this game. What I'm thinking about is who is the quarterback of the 49ers next year?
Oh, it's going to go back to
Does it go back or does it stay with Brock Purdy? Does it stay with Brock Purdy?
They're even talking about Garoppolo being in the Super Bowl.
Well,
to his point, there is some rumor you hear in media that Garoppolo is ready to play this week.
Yeah.
Would they insert him back into the lineup? Or if they make it to the Super Bowl, he is definitely ready. And I think, too, they are just done. The fan base will revolt out there because they love this guy.
Yeah.
They love it. You know, you start Purdy, if he starts crapping the bed, then fine, bring Garoppolo in and see if he changes it up. But there is no chance they should start Garoppolo after what this kid has done. That would be insane.
He's 7-0. He's 7-0 starting. Why would you switch it out?
You're going to start the better quarterback. So is Brock Purdy a better quarterback than Jimmy Garoppolo?
When Jimmy Garoppolo hasn't seen the field in 7 weeks?
Correct.
Yes.
Who's the quarterback next year, though?
I think it's going to be Garoppolo. I think it's going to be
It'll
Garoppolo.
be a fight.
Either one?
It's going to be like a Montana Young thing.
It'll be a fight in the offseason to see who gets the spot. You know, but
You think they'll both still be there?
No, I think Garoppolo's gone. I think they keep Purdy, and then they bring
yeah.
somebody in to compete with him.
Yeah, someone's gone for sure, but
I think Garoppolo will still be there.
I mean, it's a good story, guys. Brock Purdy is a good story, but I think it ends this weekend. It definitely ends this weekend. I don't think anyone thinks that 49ers are going to win. And if they do, holy crap, that is even a better story. To take your team in the beginning of December and take them to the Super Bowl as a rookie, that was the last person drafted in the college draft. That
it's a great story until you go to the Super Bowl.
The good news is we won't have the old crap story because it ain't going to happen.
It ain't going to happen.
Go Eagles.
Go Eagles. All right, so we don't even have that much time left to talk about college basketball, but we're going to go through it.
Get in there, Bubba.
We're going to go through it really fast, all right?
All right.
Houston fell to unranked Temple, 56-55 on Sunday. One loss. Does that devastate you in college basketball? Absolutely not. We said it last week. It's too early in the season to make any decisions on who's going to be winning this thing anyway. But does anyone have an idea of who the top four seeds are going to be right now?
No.
Can we even say that?
No. I said, here's the thing with this year that is really cool is this is the year that somebody that you never saw coming or one of these mid-majors may actually get it done.
Like Alabama is looking.
That's not even a mid-major. No.
College of Charleston.
I won't go there. But I told you, my Final Four early in the year included Creighton and Gonzaga. I'm telling you, don't sleep on Gonzaga because they've been battle tested now. Years past, they have been battle tested coming into this season, into their conference play. This is the year that you may see one of these smaller schools finally get it done because everybody else just didn't do anything right now. I mean, I think the Blue Bloods will be there come tournament time. They always kind of rise to the top and find a way. I mean, Duke lost again last night on a very controversial non-call. At the end of the day, guy goes to celebrate, punches for Virginia Tech, punches the dude in the face. Wow. He turned and he did like this, celebrate, punched him in the face. They didn't call the foul. So right now, no. I mean, this is to use a football term, this is a muddle huddle. I mean, it's going to be changing all the time, and it's cool. I love it.
And it's January, right?
It's going to be changing all the time, and it really doesn't matter in the end.
I mean, in the SEC, you got Auburn, you have Texas A&M, you have Alabama, and you have what's the other one? Tennessee.
Yeah.
Those four are fighting for the top spot in the SEC. But then again, you get to the SEC championship, everything goes to crap then too, because Alabama could fall first. Tennessee could fall first.
Arkansas can win.
And yeah, exactly. Like you never know what's going to happen there too.
Don't go that low.
Yeah, I mean, I think the worst team in the SEC right now is Missouri. I can't remember.
Vanderbilt.
No, Vanderbilt's not. It's
probably Missouri.
It might be Missouri.
Could be.
Yeah, Kentucky's not even looking that good in the SEC.
Missouri is a football school.
Yeah.
Is that just going to beat the Gamecocks last year?
They're a school that you avoid watching.
Wait. How about App State?
App State. Go App State. Yeah, go Mountaineers.
We may make the tournament this year. I'm not joking.
That would be interesting. So let's talk about a team that's going to make the tournament this year that was kind of unexpected, and that is our people down in the College of Charleston. What's going on down there?
Guys, they can shoot. They can shoot.
They put up 3 points like nobody's business.
Look, they remind me of Jimmer Fredette out at BYU a few years back, that he could shoot it from half court 5 times and he would make 3 of them. No. They can shoot. The only problem with the way they play the game, they live and die by the three-pointer. They're very much a perimeter team. All it's going to take is a cold night shooting, and their night's done. I mean, like I said, last week when we were here, they made 15 three-pointers in the game. You do that, you're going to win a ball game. I mean, was it 15? That's what, 45 points from behind the arc? You're going to win a ball game, right? So, no, they are very fat. They're undersized a little, but they're very fast, they're very scrappy, and they can shoot lights out. So, do they make a run? They win the SoCon this year. I don't think there's any question about them winning. Or are they in AAC now? I think they changed, actually.
They're not AAC.
Okay, so it may still be in the SoCon.
Yeah.
But in either case, they get into the tournament. I promise you this. They'll get into the tournament probably, if they keep doing what they're doing, they'll get in. It's probably like a 4, 5, 6 seed. You don't want to play them. You do not want to play, because again, they get.
No, you're going to underestimate them for sure.
Their goal is get to the tournament and let's go kick around some big guys. That's the mentality, and if they do that, could they make a run? Yeah, they don't win it, but they can make a run.
I was looking at all their games. I mean, they haven't played anyone that's really ranked, but they do have 3-4 guys that put up 15 to 20 points a game, right? Not all of them put up 15 to 20 points a game, but like you'll see the same 4 names that are putting up the numbers every week.
Yeah.
So they have some consistent shooters out there. You put it in that person's hands. If you have 4 guys that are hot on one night, you're going to blow people out. If you have 2 guys that are hot in one night, you're going to blow people out. But you have 4 people that could get hot that night, you know? So, I mean, you never know what's going to happen down there in Charleston, but they might be one of those teams that makes it to the Sweet 16. Yeah. They might even make it to the Elite 8. You never know.
Could they beat Houston from a few years back? Could they beat Gonzaga? Yeah, they could. Again, the problem with them is they're not a fully complete team, because where they're going to start running into trouble if you basically find a team with a big front court. Do you find a team with a big front court to where they've got these giants under the basket?
Yeah.
If they're missing, they don't get rebounds, they lose.
That's true. All right, so I have a question for y'all. What the fuck?
What the fuck?
What the
good
fuck?
All right.
What the fuck?
My what the fuck, I led with it in the show, and that is ChatGPT is taking us over. What the fuck? We don't even need to do a show anymore. I'm just going to put in the points we're going to talk about, and then it's going to spit out everything we're going to say. All right?
No.
And then you have to read the script. You read the script. You read the script. I'll read the script.
We'll be
going crazy. It'll be good. All right.
It's a great excuse to drink.
What the fuck?
What the fuck? Okay, so mine is part 2 of last week. I don't know if you remember part 1, but part 1 of last week was Dirty Dog Brady. He slid in and tried to trip one of the Cowboys players, and he's done it before.
$16,000 fine.
Right, so he did it to the Falcons
He
and got fined $11,000. They found him guilty today, and now he's got a $16,444 fine because he did it again.
What the fuck, Tom Brady?
Cheeks, that's like you buying a round of drinks to him. You know that, right?
That's not even a quarter of his mortgage payment.
I'm just thinking, it's almost like you think that counts against him. He doesn't care. That's a tip.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
What the fuck?
What the fuck?
Rebel, what the fuck?
So my what the fuzz I saw before I came up here, me and Cheeks had discussed this a little bit before, is the Green Bay Packers. You bring Aaron Rodgers back because you think you're the man, but then you get rid of all of his weapons around him. They don't make the playoffs. Next year, he is guaranteed in his contract I'm saying again, $60 million guaranteed if he's not willing to restructure that contract to try to build a team around him. What the fuck, Green Bay Packers, did you do?
And that's Harley.
Yeah.
That's what we call this section of the show. What the fuck? Okay? Do you have a what the fuck?
Yeah, what the fuck am I doing talking about basketball? Football is not over. I don't care about that round ball.
A lot of people do.
With football.
A lot of people do.
What the fuck? Chopper, you got what the fuck for me?
Yeah, I'm going to go back to what we talked
shoot
about
from
at
the
the
hip
beginning of the show, and that's Cowboy hate. What the fuck? Why does everybody hate the Cowboys?
Because of the Cowboys.
Why do you like the Cowboys?
I didn't say I did.
He hates them too. He's a closet hater. He's a closet hater.
He said he grew up liking the Cowboys, but now he's a Chiefs fan. I know
I mean,
it.
how can you not like Tony Dorsett, Danny White, Randy White,
The hat, Landry.
Landry, Ed Too Tall Jones, Randy White?
Wasn't there Safety Williams that was the one that was snorting coke out of a Visine bottle in the game?
Michael Irvin,
All right.
Oh, I hate my
Danny White, Tony Dorsett.
Danny
Tony
White's
Dorsett.
cute.
How can
I
you not
like
like
Danny
these guys?
It ain't the players.
I know she didn't
It's
say Troy Aikman
the
at all.
Team.
Troy Aikman.
We all heard Candy scream, what did she say?
She said, "What the fuck?" She had last
No,
call.
she said last call.
Last call. So we got to move on to last call.
Okay.
And this is my, I don't know why I came up with this.
I
was
love
actually,
this.
Yeah, so it's actually
It's
a good
awesome.
conversation, but it's really quick.
Yeah.
Who is your all-time favorite NFL quarterback besides the one that's on the team that you like? So I cannot say Tom Brady, right?
I can't say Joe
No, no, no.
Burrow.
You can't say Joe Burrow.
Do everybody but us. Save us to the end.
All right, so I can start off then, just to make
Okay.
it easy, right? So growing up, I loved watching Joe Montana play.
Shit. I mean, I'm sorry. Darn. That's ours too.
Oh, is it? All right, I'll stop then.
No, so we'll do
No,
a
no,
three.
it's somebody
When I was
else.
growing up,
We'll have a menage a trois, Joe Montana.
Actually, that was
I
mine
would
too.
love that.
Is it? So okay, damn it. All right, so
How could you not like Montana Rice, man?
I
That was
know.
Montana and
clutch.
Clark.
No, so
Montana and
what
Taylor.
I
I mean, just
what I
he's
told
so
Cheeks
smooth.
is,
So smooth.
again, as a kid,
That's
growing up, I was a
funny.
Redskins fan, and countless times the 49ers would knock out the Redskins to go further down the playoffs. I could not stand Montana as a kid watching him play, but as I grew older and then saw what he did with the Chiefs, where he had them on the cusp of winning the AFC Championship game, and now really looking back at what he was able to do, he's kind of an undersized quarterback. That dude was a beast. He's not Brady. Brady's the GOAT. Nobody wants to argue that anymore. But there was a time Joe Montana
That's it. Yeah.
was the GOAT.
he was the goat.
He was the guy.
No
But he's
Doug
still-
Williams. He
All
won
right.
the Super Bowl.
Really?
That couldn't be a team that I played, that I rooted for.
So that we have a
Mark Rippon too.
So that we have another quarterback to talk about then. So another one I really liked watching was John Elway. And the reason
Good
why
stand, John Elway.
Oh, I hate John Elway.
Yeah, but they would go
Horse-tooth Elway.
they would constantly go to the Super Bowl and lose, right?
Yeah.
In the beginning of his career, or middle of his career, he would go to the Super Bowl and he would lose. I think he lost 3 Super Bowls, was it?
He
Maybe
lost to the
even
Cowboys, he lost to the Redskins, and the Cowboys
twice, yeah.
And he lost to the Redskins. Got blown. The first year, it was close, and then he got blown out
Yeah.
the next 2 years.
And this is a guy that stayed with Denver for that long, and then all
The
of
Giants.
a sudden,
It was the Giants. The East got him. The Giants,
Yeah.
the Redskins, and the Cowboys all got him.
and then towards the end of his career, this is a guy that was able to win. Would he win 1 or 2 Super Bowls towards the end? Yeah,
won
two,
back to
2
back.
of them. Yeah, back to back.
He beat
This
the
is a
Falcons
guy-
and he beat Green Bay after Brett Favre had won the Super Bowl the year
Yeah.
before.
So this
Speaking
is a
of
guy.
Brett Favre,
This is a guy that
Favre.
kept on going and going and going and was able to win. And then, did you know that this guy had like probably less than 100 yards rushing in his entire career in the NFL?
Did you ever watch him run?
No,
No,
he
we
ran
didn't.
about as slow
The
as,
biggest,
as a
if I'm not
tortoise.
mistaken, in the Super Bowl, everybody will remember his run for about 6 yards where he went a first down and then helicoptered in the air. If I'm not mistaken, that was his longest rush of his
Yeah.
career.
Yeah, like a yard or
Yeah,
2
he
or something.
wasn't known for that.
No,
Yeah.
he definitely was not known for moving. So you said Brett Favre.
Favre, yeah, great hard-nosed, cold weather player.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
That
just,
that
you know,
that
kind of battle
defrauds Medicare to pay for.
Yeah, that's the first thing I think
I gotta
of.
give
Ripping off
credit
the
to
state of
Favre.
Mississippi. Yeah.
Listen, I tried to defraud the government as much as possible. Okay.
Touche.
So in that sense, we're gonna close this show
No, no, wait.
before the
Wait.
freaking IRS comes.
Okay,
out.
wait, one more thing.
Okay.
I love Joe Montana so much, I went to his Hall of Fame induction ceremony.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
That's how much I love
Shakes.
Joe Montana.
Where
And you
was
know
that?
who else? It was in 2000.
Yeah, nice.
And you know who else was inducted that year? Two really big names. Ronnie Lott,
Another vote for
his partner, okay, and Howie Long.
Nice.
The
Phenomenal.
Raiders.
The Raiders.
4 a.m., sitting on the lawn in the pouring rain, waiting for the ceremony to start at noon.
Why did nobody mention my favorite quarterback?
Who?
Okay, I love Peyton.
Peyton Manning?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a funny guy.
Look, I
He's
just
a funny guy.
like
He's a
Peyton
funny
as
guy.
an individual.
That shows his jump to trainers. Yes.
He's a nice guy. All right, so I need all of you that have made it through this show for this 54 minutes of listening to go ahead and subscribe to the show, share it with a friend, and then come on back each week to listen to some more Guys in the Bar talking
Sports!
If you like what you're hearing here on Guys at the Bar Talking Sports, you know what? Head over to Facebook and join our Facebook group. That is where a bunch of sports fans get together and talk sports online. Best sports group on Facebook. And then if you really like what you're hearing on the show, share it with a friend and subscribe on your podcast app. Do you want to help support the show? Well, we're doing it for beer. So go ahead and buy us a beer. You can do that through Venmo at Guys at the Bar Talking Sports, and we'll look forward to drinking that beer on you.